My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts.
Well, I'll tell you all that as of the last video, we kind of had to end it because it was kind of getting towards the ending time, but I'll say that there's just one little last step we need to make in addition to what we did in the last one, and that is to kind of tie this little knot into this little bitty piece of thread, and just kind of move it right in just to kind of just get the place right in its own little spot. So I say as of now, probably not going to be much left to do, but when I was in between videos, decided to go ahead and thread this set of needles, and coming this way we'll just kind of put just one little extra spot right into the piece in here and try to make it out just fine like it ought to go, and just put little things in mind where we just run the thread right through. And I say with what we got, we kind of made away with it, and from where we started here, kind of got a little extra way to go. So with what I say here about little hole there, it was kind of a little bit of a tough hole to get through, and these are the things that can bring nature into your bedroom. And I say, and how I just love nature so much, it kind of makes me think of all the good we have in our lives. So God created us with a great purpose and created all the animals with grace. There cometh a time when, for all these things, anybody could have just probably used the meat of this animal and probably had the fur left over, but I tell y'all that this is just one of those things where sometimes I consider a piece of work to be my own trophy of something. This was fairly cheap for a piece of fur, but I'd say for it to be as tough and thick as it was at a good price. So I tell you all that of all the things you see on these old safaris, it's like there's so much I've learned about impalas and most kinds of antelopes and all the enemies they have. We know that for where they are in Africa, they are an easy prey for lions and leopards and cheetahs. Most anything can be an easy prey for crocodiles and hyenas and Cape hunting dogs and most anything that is kind of out there in the wild is, I say. And sometimes, just sometimes, that it's just kind of getting the needle right through the hole, got it in its little place. So come down to think of what we're doing, got a place where we're coming through and making a little sound come right in. Once there was a time when on a video I saw some people that were out on an African safari, and They were kind of like out in their Jeep on the trail of the jungle with their windows open, and a cheetah was chasing some Impala. And while the Impala were being chased and running, one of them accidentally jumped through the open window of that Jeep of those people who were practicing. Might have just been a little struggle for them to get it out. Might have been startled just to kind of be in there with human beings. But we know sometimes, just sometimes, there have even been some creatures of whom man has often been considered their worst predator. So we know that there are things that creatures have and do, and all the things they kind of make of themselves. And you know, there comes a time when a little satire might be based on a wild creature of some sort, and for all we do, we just kind of make our place with them, share with them our little image of life. And you know, nature can be a great thing. So I say, of all things, there's never a time when you know just what kind of creature might be endangered. I could tell you one thing, that on Etsy, if you ever buy anything from them that is made from any of their creatures, I tell you that you would probably even note that those animals are not endangered. So if it's an endangered animal, it is illegal to sell a product of it on Etsy, and therefore it's against Etsy's rules, which is all the more reason why there are just some creatures you won't find the real furs of on Etsy. You'll just find little cow and goat leathers that are printed like leopards, tigers, and zebras. So sometimes there's just things we never know what they are till we get ourselves into them. And little do we know, this could have been some creature that could have been in a zoo. And for all the zoos that have carried these creatures, they definitely had some wild ancestors. So sometimes we just don't understand everything, all the logic and reasoning, but it just makes a little sense now and then that we just kind of put things together for ourselves and make a little interesting way to do them. So, as of this time, there's going to be more videos to be made, and for little critters you may see, they may come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. We know that all creatures are of our God and King. So, just as the song sings, it's just one of the things that the hymn goes, all creatures of our God and King sing Alleluia. I remember there was a singer named Jennifer Knapp who was the first one to sing a contemporary arrangement of that, and later on it got to be the David Crowder Band that started kind of singing another version of that. So we are all here together in this little sport of a place where we're kind of see that somebody had to hunt to get something, and sometimes, just sometimes, I thank the hunters for things, because I say that for all these little things we have to share in life that come in all different forms of nature, sometimes the hunters had to go out and get it for us. They get it online and they post it for us to see a little funny little thing we witness and find out for our own selves, just to know what good is it to us. We cannot profit anything if somebody didn't work for it. So, come down to what we're thinking of here. I'm making things here out of the little cloth and fur. You know, fabric can be nice and leather can be nice. And it's always good to kind of be able to mix a couple of elements together to make a fine little something. And with all we're doing here, may we all be blessed with whatever shall come our way, because we are just working hard to kind of make a nice little place for all the little fancy stuff we can do, fancy stuff we can make. And for one thing or another, we've gotten a little business coming in, and we're going to try to style things up and show some people that we've been blessed with many measures of all the great things we have. So come by tonight. It's just going to be a well taken care of piece of work. And coming down to what we make, we'll see just what it's all going to be like when it comes down to another story for you and me. So, with little things in mind, we'll take it a little further just to kind of make a little leather work just like that. There's so much to learn about leather over time, and you can kind of get down to it when you make something from it and of it. So, kind of come along here, remove a little bit of place down here, and we see that just a little happy work can make us all see happy places where we're gonna measure our work by how hard we worked to earn it. And for things like this, we shall treasure them forever. We know one thing for sure, that there's a lot of stuff that we have on earth we can't take with us to heaven, but there are going to be greater things there. May very well be that we don't know whether the animals that die on earth will go to heaven or be resurrected at the second coming, but here I'll tell you all of all things that there's just a lot of holiness in the work of what we do. For we know, the Bible tells us that man shall rule over the beast, and I'll say that this is just kind of coming down to it. There's one little hole here that I'm having a hard time getting the needle into, but finally made it now. And just for I say There's just going to be one little place to tighten here when we get down to the end, but it's almost time to end the video, so this is where I'm going to stop. Hope you like it.
Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.